So today we are in this cycle. We talk a lot about testing and the purposes of testing. So testing can serve many purposes. I think the newer the athlete, the younger the athlete. Assessments are great. Seeing kind of what you're working with, get a history of the athlete, and then you have to test the athlete. I'm not into testing exactly right out the gate. I actually like to have like a whole cycle behind us, just because I feel like if they went from 0 to 60 and you're trying to test, you can put them in harm's way by doing sprinting or doing things that they're not ready for. So I actually like just a hair bit of time to do it. But the testing that we do definitely towards the 5 biomotor abilities. We have we have 30-meter sprint with, I do a 1 meter lead in. We have 20-meter hop on our left leg, 20-meter hop on our right leg. We have a standing long jump, and then we have standing 3 jump, which is a double leg jump, and it goes hop, hop, and then into a land. And then we have overhead shot, underhand shot for the women, 4K, for the men 7.25K. High school kid, I'd use the high school shot, which is like 5.45 or something like that kilograms, or 12 pounds for the male. And then we do a 150, and this way kind of test a little bit of everything. So we get to see speed, we get to see the single leg hop, we get to see, is there a difference between the right and the left leg, coordination, balance, how much force they can apply with the single leg, and maintain their balance at that. And it's obviously for time. Overhead shot obviously is a power component. Underhand shot forward, a lot say it's equal to like coming out of the blocks, and just being able to test in that motion since it's forward and out. And then a 150, a little bit of speed endurance as we get. And so this, as the athletes progress, we'll be able to see kind of how they progress with their abilities. We'll be able to see how much they're able to develop their abilities for, balance, strength, power, speed, all those things. And so it's just a good test for us to see kind of where we're at. Are we on pace to go where we're trying to get to? And are we getting better as with our training? And so I usually test 3 times a year. Usually it's at the beginning of the year, one time obviously after the first of the year, and then after indoors, sometime in the middle of outdoors, I like to test again, and just to see improvement. What you'll see actually with certain athletes, they just don't get that much better once they get to a certain age. It's only so far you can throw the shot and do all that. They can get better within a year, but a lot of elite athletes in college, you'll see a lot of growth in their testing numbers, even maybe just initially post-collegiately. But once they get to a certain point, you're not going to see a lot of growth in that athlete as far as development from a certain time to a certain time, but maybe during the year, it's a good checks and balances for that. And so the main thing, again, like with any kind of testing, make sure it's reliable. If you're doing the same test, if you can do it with the same conditions, so that you can have replicate the test, and then making sure that they don't just come out and do the test. That sometimes during the year, that sometimes you just throw, like every Friday we might just do overhead shot or underhand shot, just to get used to the feeling of actually getting better at it. Besides just producing the power, obviously there's a little bit of a technical aspect to it. We tend to use heavier med balls though, and that obviously is different from a shot put. And then speed is speed, and then standing long jump, we already do it to work on our landing techniques and things like that. Some can land clean, some land on their feet. It just it's just determined by the individual. So testing is a nice component for being able to check and see kind of the growth of the athlete. So in your system or in your training, you should have testing from time to time. We just can't use competition all the time for testing.